Do you write console.log like 100 times per project just to debug your code and check the values of your variables? If that's the case, then I have an extension that will help you tremendously. That is the Turbo console.log extension for Visual Studio Code. That is exactly what you need, because it makes debugging super easy by automating the process of writing descriptive log messages. All you need to do is select the variable or expression, and the extension will write the line of code that you need to print the file name, the line number, and the name and value of your variable. Let's see how you can install this extension and customize its settings. Hello and welcome back to my channel, Coding with Estefania. Here we are in Visual Studio Code. Let's install the extension by going to the extensions panel and writing Turbo console.log. Here, the first result that you will see has almost 1 million downloads. So let's click here on install. And once we have the extension installed, we can check it in our installed extensions here. Then we go to the Explorer and I have a JavaScript file specifically created for this video with a variable. In the traditional way that we usually use, without this extension, we would write console.log manually and then within parentheses we would pass the name of the variable, right? But of course that is super time consuming and the message is not super descriptive. We are just printing the value of the variable. Let me tell you that with this extension you just need to press a keyboard shortcut and things will be much easier. If you're on Windows, then you will just need to select the variable and then you press Ctrl-Alt-L, the letter L. And if you're on Mac, then you just need to press Ctrl-Option-L. Right now, I am on a Mac, so I will press Ctrl-Option-L. And voila, here you can see the descriptive log message. Just like that, like magic, we have this new line of code below the variable, and we can see more context about this variable. We can see the name of the file, which is program.js. We can also see the name of the variable. Over here, we can see the line number. And we can see the value of the variable itself. We will see it after this colon. So it's super helpful, it gives us more context. Let me just run this in the terminal. If you want to run a JavaScript program in the terminal, you need to have Node.js installed, okay? I will just run this program and I see this in the output. I see file, program.js, I see line 2, and I see the value of the variable, my variable. So that is also super helpful if you're working on a project with multiple files and you want to see more context about your variable. This also works if your variable is inside a function. So let's say here my function, let me just delete this and move this variable to this line inside the function, change this to 2 spaces. And now, if I select the variable and I press Ctrl-Option-L or Ctrl-Alt-L on Windows, I will see a similar log message, but now I will see the context of the function here. I will see the name of the function and I will see that this variable is within this function. Another great thing about this extension is that you can just comment and uncomment all these console.log statements, and you can also delete them with very simple keyboard shortcuts. So you don't have to manually go through your code line by line deleting the console.log statements. Let me show you how you can do this. Let's say that I have multiple variables. Let's say my variable, your variable. Let's use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Option-L or Ctrl-Alt-L. And right now we have 2 console.log statements. And if we want to comment out all the console.log statements at once with just one keyboard shortcut, then we just need to press Shift, Option, and C. The letter C, and voila, you can see this. And I know that you must be really happy and excited right now for this functionality, because usually it's time consuming to delete or comment out all of our console.log statements when we are checking our variables. So we just have that keyboard shortcut. Shift Option C to comment, Shift Option U to uncomment, and we also have another great keyboard shortcut, which is Shift Option D to delete them. that will delete all the console.log statements generated by the extension. That is also super helpful when you completed the debugging process and you're completely sure about your variables and you don't need them anymore. And another great thing is that you can go to the extensions panel and we have the possibility of adding a semicolon in the end of the log message. That is helpful. I really like to add the semicolons automatically, or if I don't have this enabled, I do that manually. So I would like to keep this enabled. We can also customize the delimiter that will separate the log message elements, like the file name. So let me show you what this setting means. If we have this variable, my variable, and I use Control-Option-L to create console.log. On Windows, that would be Control-Alt-L. Then I see this little symbol as the delimiter between the different elements. But if instead of this I want to use a different delimiter, like let's say the plus symbol, just to give you an example, let me delete this and let me generate this again with Control-Option-L. You may have to restart Visual Studio Code for this to take place, but let's just restart it. Open our folder, and now let me show you Control-Option-L, and now instead of that symbol we have the plus symbol here. So you can customize this to your liking, and you can also use a combination of symbols. It doesn't have to be just one symbol. Awesome! We also see that you can include the file name and the line number, or you can choose to disable this if you just want the name of the variable and the value. You can insert an empty line after the log message. You can insert an empty line before the log message. You can insert an enclosing class. So if your variable is defined within a class, you will also see the name of the class in the log message. And the same with the function, like in the example that we just saw. You will see the name of the function in the log message. You can also specify a log function. We can also change the log message prefix. Here we can see a rocket emoji. This is the rocket that you can see over here, but you can also customize it to your liking. You can also see the message suffix because this is the symbol that we can see over here before we actually get the value of the variable. If you don't like the colon, then you can customize it. You can select the log type as well if you want to log, warn, error, debug, or table. And to match your style preferences, you can choose to use double quotes, single quotes, or backticks. And you can also determine if the log message should be wrapped or not. Let's see this. If we enable this and we go here, let's create the message again. We may need to restart Visual Studio Code again to see the changes. I open my code folder again. And now if I do this, you can see this over here. This is what the creator means with wrapping. It will wrap your log with 2 lines like this ones. And you can always change the prefix so you can customize this as well. Awesome, now you know how this extension works. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I really appreciate it, and have an awesome day. I will see you in the next video.